Hello, my name is Shudley and welcome back for another episode of Victoria 3 as Mexico. In previous episode we were mostly focusing on expanding our industry and all that, and we managed to get a little bit more production, or construction rather, so we're at least increasing the economy a little bit faster. We're not actually getting any investment pool transfers right now, which we do have 4 million in the investment pool already, but I just realized between the episodes that Oregon is now independent. They've got a lot of truces. Now I could potentially... Wait, do we have... Oh, we got amicable relations. Right, well, let's start damaging relations first of all. So what we could do is maybe start conquering over here, especially if we take Idaho. We could block USA from expanding further west. And then maybe take Oregon or something like that. But slowly but surely we can start expanding through those areas. And then maybe colonize the rest of Idaho as well. But that seems like a pretty interesting option that has opened up there. So they did manage to get their independence, which I'm a little bit surprised by that. Ah, there we go. Election results are in. Oh, right, so if we keep all of these in the party, interesting enough, we could go without the industrialists and it would still be the exact same legitimacy. So I guess we'll just keep this government as is. That'll probably be good enough. We'll try to boost the industrialists a little bit, but it might not be enough to reduce the power from the Conservative Party right now. I mean, right now, I suppose a lot of the voters are peasants and such, so that's causing some issues. Cross-border investments. No, we don't want to invest elsewhere. Manufacturing tax income, though. Seems like a good idea. It might not be all that much extra taxes, to be fair, but it's going to be a little bit more. So we've got 5 to 8 weeks to the mass communication, and writing speech captivates the public. Guess we'll take another 15% chance. So we've got 74% chance of passing this law. The next roll. I mean, it's going to take up until October, so that's another 3 months before we can get that. It's slowly getting better at least. So how is the paper situation? It's still pretty darn bad. We are going to get another paper. I suppose we are going to be increasing the paper consumption a lot in the way as well. Or along the way as well. So that's a potential issue there. Right, so we've got the mass communication now underway. We could get... Well, the water boiler is now spreading. That would be quite useful for extra coal production, as well as iron and all that, so we might go for that one after the mass communication, or we could help with the field work. Actually, we'll go with the field works first, and then we can maybe allow or help with the water boiler. That'll probably be good enough. Right, so we are reducing relations with Oregon right now, and yeah, if we take Idaho, technically speaking, USA might still do a war against them as well, I don't know. But I'm hoping that, I mean, yeah, they can go for, like, British Columbia if they really want to. There we go, mass communication unlocked, so we've got a bit more authority, which we're not really using all that much. We could put in another consumption tax if we want to. Although, if we really want to get money, we could just increase the taxes to the medium taxes again. And honestly just be done with it, but, we don't need too much money on, like, but only losing a tiny fraction of our money right now, because we do have a lot of construction over here that is going to be somewhat expensive. How's the iron situation? The iron situation is actually still pretty decent. We could probably build another iron mine over here soon enough, though. Get that at least underway. So we've got cordial relations with USA right now, so we can at least be somewhat safe to know that they won't be attacking us right now, which is quite nice. I don't suppose there's any extra... Right, urban center... Oh, government administration. Not all are using the filing cabinets yet. I would increase the paper consumption even further. We should probably wait on that one. The shipyards we could maybe change, but I don't think that's necessary. Tooling workshops are already on the top level there. We are using sweeteners in the food industry, as well as pot stills. We might want to get another level for the food industry, though. That's usually one of the things... Where did we have it over here? Over here, okay. That's one of the things usually that is making pretty good profit. Groceries are in a pretty high demand, and that's going to use a bit more sugar, so that would be quite nice. We'll put that into the list. Hopefully it will be built soon enough. Oh, they started colonizing Texas. That's not allowed. It's my territory. Well, there's definitely going to be some border tensions then, I suppose. They are colonizing Oklahoma as well, to be fair. But I guess they're running... Oh, there we go, religious schools passed. And we've still got a bit of extra bureaucracy, by the way. Or by the looks of it, so that's quite handy. Not enough to increase any of the levels, mind you, but it's not the worst. Of course, with both the charity hospitals and the religious schools, it does mean that we do strengthen the Catholic Church quite a bit here, which means that, well, one of the things is that they are going to be now very powerful, but also it means that the Conservative Party is less likely to lose elections, which means that we'll be somewhat stuck with some of the laws that we're trying to maybe pass over time. Like right now, I don't think there's too many. I mean, free trade is something we could try passing, but there's not that much support for it. Of course, going away from agrarianism to laissez-faire, for example, could work. Loan interest rate would go down a lot. Probably construction allocation would be, technically speaking, going up, but since we've got that setting turned off, so it wouldn't really have that much of a change there. But that would allow us to do manufacturing, industry, mines, forestries, rubber plantation, oil extractions, infrastructure, whaling, and fisheries with the investment pool money. So not the worst, but I think the intervention is probably going to be the best option for us right now in this run, because we can basically use the investment pool for almost everything. One of the things that we don't have yet, though, where do we have... you know what, Rio Grande, you are going to get an art academy. So we can get some fine arts going in our nation as well, all the market as well. Right, so they colonize all of Montana as well. I do wonder if they're going to go into Canada. Probably not with the colonization there. But how strong is USA's army right now? 140 plus 335. Okay, they've got a quite strong army. There's no denying that. We might want to increase our military a little bit further. Go to at least 3 battalions there. Let's double check that we... okay, yeah, all of those are fine. We can increase the cargo ports in certain areas. Oh, now they started colonizing in Utah as well. Damn it. Well, we're still colonizing at a decent enough speed. 0.55% per day, so... well, I suppose it's still quite a few days for each level, but at least it is slowly improving. I mean, to be fair, the incorporated population is 9.6 million, so that is definitely helping. Oh, actually, could we get the colonial affairs? If we had the bureaucracy for that, yes, we probably could. And we are about to get another administration center soon, to be fair, so once that is done, we could probably start increasing colonization, colonial affairs a bit further. Eventually, once we've done all the colonization down here, we could maybe reduce the levels back down to level 1. And thus save us a little bit of bureaucracy. But right now it might be... I should have done that earlier, quite frankly. Let's start activating that now. It's going to take almost a year, but then we're going to at least get... probably... well, Arizona is probably going to be completely colonized by me. And New Mexico is pretty likely to be only by me. Utah, well, now we're sharing it with the Americans already. And they are no doubt getting... yeah, they're colonizing a lot faster than I am. They're getting, yeah, 1 every 50 days. So they got about 3 times the speed that I do. Right, how's the shipyard doing? Did we upgrade? No, we didn't increase the level yet. We should probably do that, though. Give another level there. Construction speed is now 28 per week, so it's slowly improving. Although we haven't actually done too much there, so it's probably just a bit more wood and steel and all that is available. Porcelain is still in a pretty darn high demand, as well as clippers and paper. And coal. Do we have a coal mine? We do have a coal mine underway, okay. That's at least helpful. And then Costa Rica, it doesn't have a lot of pops in there, so that's going to be a bit of a problem. I should probably go ahead. There's actually not a farm in there. Okay, never mind. Well, in that case, we'll just let that be then. So we're getting 25,000 from minting, of which, let's see, that's 1, 3, 6, 7, 8, about 11,000 per week from the minting is from gold mines. That's not too bad. It wasn't that long ago, it was a lot less. It was like 5,000 or something like that, maybe 7, but somewhere around there. So it's been growing very rapidly. There's no denying that. Right, so the infamy is at least going down. We've still got pretty good relations with Oregon though, so we can't declare war to them. We could expel the diplomats, but I don't know if... oh right, I can't declare rivalry either. Because we're still cordial with our relations, so that's just going to have to go downwards. Slowly but surely, but if we could take over British Columbia as well, that would open up the route to Alaska, and then maybe, just maybe, we could start eventually conquering all of Canada as well. But US is going to be the primary enemy. Of course, we haven't really started fighting them yet. We're just keeping our relations with them good enough so we don't run into any wars with them quite yet. Let's see, so we've still got 60% peasants of our population total, so we've still got quite a bit of work to do in terms of reducing those numbers. We'll get the port in California soon enough, then another gold mine, and we'll get the coal mine, and then dye plantations and paper mills and all that. So we are going to get a lot of things underway. Now, most of these are actually not going to be built with the investment pool, which is already almost 5 million, and it's still growing. Just growing and growing. I'm guessing with the paper price being what it is, the universities aren't really providing enough production. We should probably build in the university over here, although before we do that one, I'm going to build the logging, or 2 more logging homes at least. Maybe put one before the shipyard and then one before the university. So we'll at least get a little bit of money back from there. Although the dye plantation is going to be used or using the investment pool to some degree, but it's going to be done in like a week. So it's not really that much money that we gain back from there, but it's alright, I suppose. And we've still got over £600,000 in the treasury, and we're losing only like 1,000 to 2,000 per week. So we can keep this going for a while. Plus we're about to get another gold mine. So that no doubt is going to increase the income even further. And we're still on the low taxes, so all things considered, we're not in too bad of a situation. The loyalist numbers are slowly growing, maybe? It's kind of stagnant, to be fair. The radical numbers are at least dropping. And we have incorporated this one already, haven't we? We have. The turmoil has started going down slightly. Partially, mostly because of the law enforcement, I reckon, but... Oh, and we could start incorporating San Salvador as well. That's going to be another 5 years to be done. It's not too bad, though. Oh, and this one's another one that we could start incorporating. So we'll have all of these incorporated. And then, by the time that those are done, we'll hopefully have started wars against Oregon. Still 4 to 7 months for the field works. I mean, that is going to be very important if we run into a war against the Americans. So that we can at least sort of defend the ground, even though they have better troops. But if we can just hold them back, and especially if we could bring in like Britain or someone else like that to aid us in the war. Speaking of Britain, we've still got pretty good relations, but I'm going to start improving relations further with them. Yeah, it had fallen a decent bit down with all the conquest that we did. Oh, and there we go, we got the dye plantation already completed. We got the gold mine already done. Oh, speaking of gold, more in Colorado. We'll put in the extra throughput in there. There we go. Technically speaking, getting a bit more people to move in here would be quite useful. I suppose it'll be fine for the time being. So the coal mine in Osaka is going to be done soon enough. And that's going to increase the coal production by another 24 or something like that. So it's a decent bonus in there. I suppose we can get the condensing pump engine soon enough, so that's going to be 60 per level. There we go, that's the coal mine done now. We'll get another paper mill soon enough. I mean, well, it's going to take a few months. Then another iron mine and so forth. So how is the iron situation right now anyway? We don't have that massive deficit. Tools are in a bit of a demand though. I suppose one thing that I could do, how many... We did get the construction sector over here. Switch this to iron frame buildings. That's going to increase the construction speed even further. It is going to be a bit more expenditure, admittedly. But at the same time, the demand for wood is going to go down, so it's not too bad. We can start using that in a lot of other productions then. Like more furniture, for example. Speaking of, how much is the furniture demand right now? It's actually not too high. Luxury furniture is a bit higher, but it's not too bad either. Standard of living is a bit low still, though. But at least thanks to all the gold mines that we have, we're not heading to a bankruptcy anytime soon. Oh, there we go. So, New Mexico... Well, actually, there's still a little bit more that we can colonize in New Mexico. And then Texas is... Okay, yeah, the Americans are going to have the northern portion of Texas here. There's not much I can do about it, unfortunately. I mean, at least we've got good relations with America right now, so I don't need to worry about a war anytime soon. Although eventually we do need to worry about a war with them. So, if we were to expel the diplomats from Oregon, that would be 10 infamy. I suppose we can do that now. We're going to let the infamy drop a little bit further, but then we're going to have a look at the... So how much would it cost? 6.1 infamy for British Columbia. Idaho is 2.3. 7.5 for Oregon. And Washington is 7.5. So I wouldn't be able to take all of it, but if I take Idaho, and then maybe Oregon, It would be too much for right now, but if we wait for infamy to drop to like, I don't know, 5 or something like that, so that would be a year or so. Let's actually double check. How much is the military? 3.0, or 3+0, sorry. And let's have a look at the quality of those then. We've got 1 barracks here, so it's irregulars with mobile artillery, so we should be able to beat those fairly handily. And if that's the case, then yeah, we want to get more land over here. Logistics is spreading. Oh. Right, yeah, we got the fieldworks, and New Mexico is now being colonized by... Oh, yeah, they started colonizing over there. So now it's going to be spreading on that side as well. Bollocks. The border goal is going to be massive in here. We'll have to do some wars probably soon enough. I mean, I suspect that once they have the Civil War, then that's going to be our chance to start fighting the Americans again. We don't have a lot of army, though, right now, so that's something that we'll need to work on. Put in another 2 barracks to be built in Bahia. Right, Nevada is finally at 30% access in there. Right, there is still 9 goldfields in there. I mean, I suppose there's probably a pretty good immigration or migration towards it. Actually, no, there's no migration here. Oh, interesting. Well, we're at least going to get another iron mine soon, and then the food industry in Guerrero is going to be underway. It's already being built at a pretty good speed. Oh, now we're getting the Arts Academy in Rio Grande as well. Slowly but surely, so that's going to allow us to get a bit more things. So is there... We're not getting the... No, we're not getting the investment pool transfers here. We've got 5.5 million already waiting. I suppose the logging camps is at least one of the things that will support it. And the tool price is getting pretty high, so I'm probably going to build another tooling workshop in our capital. There we go, we got 10.7 million pops. Almost 10 million incorporated pops. Pretty good. And how close are we to the colonization? 14 weeks and we get the colonization. We are actually quite a bit below our bureaucracy numbers here, but is it that because of the lack of paper? No, I don't think it is. Although, let's double check. Can we can increase it now. There we go, so less tax waste, at least. Yeah, Americans did take quite a large chunk of Utah in there. I suppose our colonization days over here are going to be done soon. Not a lot of Comanche remaining. But at least in Idaho we can do a decent bit of work. We do have quite a few maize farms over here. Is there... There's plenty of pops in Guatemala though, so that's fine. Over here there's not a lot of things that I can do to reduce the workforce need. I suppose that can be as is. So we did get the iron mine. How's the iron situation now? There's a little bit of lack of it, but it's not too bad. So we can probably hold on to that. How's the steel situation? We've got a little bit extra steel. Not massive amounts, mind you, but a little bit extra. And I don't suppose we've unlocked any of the... No, we haven't unlocked any of the arms industry stuff yet. So we, in arms industries, or over here, we're getting the logistics. The contributor battalions would be quite useful. Especially if we run into a war against Americans. The shell gun would allow us to get more artillery production if need be. Our colonization Texas completed. And now they colonize, or starting to colonize Arizona. Those bastards. Well, at least we got a decent chunk of Texas. I mean, the Americans got a tiny chunk of it, not a lot of pops in there. On our side, we got a decent bit more. The port is unable to be right. We needed more clippers. I mean, we do have the shipyard underway, or expansion underway. Now we're getting 3 town. Oh, do we have... No? I'm just getting money because. Alright then. The colonization New Mexico completed. Alright, so that is now done. We've got 20,000 people in here. We could probably get one coal mine at least. Well, that's something for us. So yeah, the amount of states that we are sharing in here right now is bloody horrific. And at this point, we could probably start the war against Oregon. Let's go with the Idaho first. There's only 2.3 infamy as well. I suppose the population there is quite minuscule. Bring that army in. So is anyone leaning... Oh, Russia would be willing to be swayed for our side. We don't need them right now. I think what I might do, though, is add in the war goal for Oregon. Oh, Hudson Bay is improving relations. I'm going to add a war goal for Oregon. That's another 7.6 infamy. In theory, we could claim Washington as well. And that way we'd be making sure that the natives over here will be colonized by us and not Americans. But I'm not entirely sure if that's going to be something that we need to do. Although, well, we'll see. they are fearful. How much would it cost for us to put in the Congress state on Washington? So 7.5. That'll still be under 25, so I'm going to go for that one. That leaves us with a tiny bit of influence or maneuvers in here if we need to call in someone in. I don't think we need to, though. And the enemy's army is very small. The quality should be less than what we have. So we are in a pretty good situation over there. Oh, and now we're making a lot of money. Oh, colonization Utah completed. So, do we have any colonies going on? I suppose we are still colonizing Arizona. So are the Americans. But I suppose right now the speed should be already pretty decent. In here we... Oh, yeah. Okay, now we're at the same speed as the Americans. So we'll be probably taking about half of this. It's better than nothing, at least. We got up to 13%. Oh, right, we did get another barracks, though, didn't we? Right, so that's at least underway. We could get another iron mine over here. Actually, no, not there, but in our capital we could get another iron mine. Because we've got a lot of peasants in there. We need to start utilizing that some way. And then we could maybe eventually switch all the construction sectors into iron frame buildings. I mean, we could probably do that already, although the tool price is going to be pretty high. Iron price is going to be pretty high. Iron backs down. Oh. Alright then, so a lot of the infamy that we got, we now have lost. I'll start establishing... Oh, no, we can't. Oh. Right, we can't start colonizing that. Yeah, at least. Let's double check. Have claims and maintain interest there. Oregon. Okay. There we go. Water tube boiler completed. Let's put in the... Well, logistics is a decent one. We could go for... Oh, dialects. Actually, that's quite nice. Go for dialects. After that, we could go for the railways. I think that's about time for it. And now let's go with the new mine situation, all things. Condensation engine pumps. So that's going to allow us to get a lot of iron. That probably means that we can... Oh, and sulfur mines. We could probably switch those as well. Gold mines, we can switch to the extra production. So at this stage, I suppose we'll switch... Oh, right, we did already switch everything to iron frame construction, so... Or iron frame buildings, so there we go. That's going to be a pretty good amount of money that we'll now get from the logging camp. We'll get another university soon enough, so the innovation is going to start going. Especially once we get the dialects, that's going to speed things up even further. Right, there is still a claim there. We'd have to... Right, well, we do have a truce with Oregon for a while now, at least. We can eventually colonize that. But now we are getting the colonies in here. Oh. Constitution government. To pass total separation. Oh. Faith knows no borders. Mexican first, Catholic second. I think we'll go for that one, because Intelligentsia is going to like us a bit further, so we can get the migration attraction. So now there's a wealth voting. Okay. So they want to change the voting laws. I'm actually all for it. Oh man, yeah, there's a massive support for it. Armed Forces aligned support of it. So total separation, that's going to be a bit harder to pass right now, but if we can get the wealth voting, we can then start reducing the Conservative Party's power at least a little bit, which means that then passing some of the laws that the Conservative Party doesn't approve of will get easier. So tool price is very, very high right now. We're going to be starting to work on that though sooner. So how much do we use? Okay, so we should have enough for another steel mill there then. I don't suppose... Hold on a minute. So who is buying or what is using up all the steel? There's a trade route. To Oregon? Oh, right. Did we inherit any buildings in here? Not really. We get some logging in there, I suppose, but that's about it. Is there... There's not a lot of infrastructure available either, but I suppose we could get the logging camp in there at least. And then, well, Nevada is already having problems with infrastructure. Utah is not having problems right now. We could probably get an iron mine there. Sure. Not necessarily the best of options, but it's good enough for now. And then we've got the sulfur mine in here. The sulfur isn't used all that much, though. That'll be probably good enough for now. Ah, are we going to be the ones that colonize this, or the Americans? No, it's going to be the Americans to take that one. Alright then, well, they only got a corner in our, Arizona, so it's not the worst. But that is going to be ending soon there, then. And we would just spend a time to upgrade the institution, didn't we? Oh, since we don't have bureaucracy enough for it, it's okay. Well, colonization in Arizona completed. I suppose at this stage we can just cancel that one then. We'll get a decent bit of the bureaucracy back. How's the... Okay, we've got over 10 million corporate population already. I'm about to get the university. We'll also increase the well, we'll get another barracks at least, so that's increasing our total military size a little bit. We'll get the tooling workshop building fairly soon. That'll be done in a fairly good manner or speed. Is there anything that we need in particular? I mean, fine art is something that is needed quite a bit, but it's probably the production's only sort of booting up, so to speak. So there's not really all that much of a demand for it, but you know, at least it's gonna hopefully make a profit. Because the paper price is a bit high, admittedly. So that, yeah, it's actually not increasing productions yet. Low progress to study, so wealth voting, we've got a pretty good chance of passing it. Already gone through the first phase. Yeah, the border with USA is now completely colonized. At least we got Idaho, so that is stopping them from getting any further west for the time being. Unless they go through British Columbia, but I don't know if they will. Do they have a... No, they don't have any cores or anything like that in here. That's good. And we did get the university down, so now we've got a innovation of 56. It's nothing massive yet, but we can slowly start improving that. Especially since that is in our capital, that means that the qualifications for all these industries will be more readily met. Which is definitely good news for us, of course. But the steel mill is still having... Oh, coal price is a bit high there. Right, well that's something that we are going to be working on soon enough. But I suppose it's mostly the tool... Yeah, tool shortage is a problem there. But we are working on the tooling workshop at least. Also getting a coal mine done soon enough. So that is going to increase the coal production in general. Although I suppose due to the lack of tools, it might not be all that high increase in there. Are we doing... Oh, there we go. Number 12 in the GDP. Still quite a bit behind. Ah, there we go, dialects. So let's go ahead and switch the university to use that one then. A bit more paper is needed, but more innovation is always nice. How's the class situation, actually? We do have a little bit extra. So I suppose we could take another one with Urban Center and switch it to Market Square, so a bit more services. Shouldn't be too bad, and over here we could probably do the same. The class price shouldn't be going up too quickly, at least. Right, I don't think we need to damage relation with Oregon any further. How long do we have the truce with them? Just out of curiosity. 4 years left, okay. But it would appear that we are actually out of time for this episode. So if you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe if you haven't already. Also check out the links down below in the description. But other than that, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, bye bye.